Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 20. Comprehensive review and recap. Episode 20 of Love Island USA Season 7 was not merely another day in paradise. It was the episode in which the Islanders' preconceived notions of reality were completely dismantled. The subsequent drama brought a combination of tender romance, sharp betrayals, and a looming sense of peril, which made each interaction feel as though it could alter the course of the game, as the emotions from the previous drama were still raw. In the event that Episode 19 was the storm breaking, Episode 20 was the aftermath, the messy, unpredictable, and enthralling aftermath in which alliances were tested, cracks widened, and no couple remained unscathed. The morning tension. The villa awoke to an ominous silence. Mornings are typically characterized by playful flirtations and banter, but this morning is an exception. The arguments from the previous night continued to persist in the air, much like the smoke that remains after a fire. Some Islanders attempted to shrug it off, while others feigned a smile. However, it was evident in their eyes that they were still replaying the shouting match in their minds. Whispered conversations supplanted jokes during breakfast. Some seized the opportunity to reassure their partners by making lofty declarations about being all in and wanting to move forward. Others, they were unable to conceal their anxiety. One particular couple sat across from each other, scarcely making eye contact, as if they were strangers compelled to share a table. The truth was painfully evident. Trust had been shattered, and no amount of toast and coffee was going to repair it. The conversations that followed the fallout. Watching the smaller, more intimate conversations that transpired subsequent to the chaos was one of the most enjoyable aspects of this episode. Each cranny of the villa was transformed into a confessional booth where Islanders shared their own narratives, gossiped, and vented their frustrations. Some Islanders adopted the voice of reason strategy, asserting that they did not wish to become embroiled, but conveniently directing sharp criticisms toward one or the other. The drama was fully embraced by others, who stoked the fire and reminded everyone of the exact words that had been spoken and the individuals who had been exposed. The most captivating conversations were those in which Islanders acknowledged in whispered voices that they may not have been as confident in their relationships as they had previously believed. The wheels of their minds were turning as you observed. Should I persist and hope for the best? Alternatively, should I maintain my options open until it is too late? The remainder of the episode was predicated on that internal conflict. The bombshell factor. Naturally, there is nothing that can keep Islanders on the edge of their seats quite like a new revelation. This energy was further emphasized in Episode 20 as the newcomer from the previous episode continued to disrupt the situation. The charm offensive did not decelerate, rather, it intensified. Additional one-on-one conversations, flirty compliments, and covert jabs at established couples. Additionally, the responses were invaluable. Despite the fact that some Islanders appeared unconcerned, they were unable to resist stealing glances at their companion whenever they departed with the bombshell. Some individuals entered a state of complete panic, following their spouses around the villa like watchdogs. Then there were the audacious Islanders who openly acknowledged that they felt a connection with the newcomer, even if it meant putting their current relationship at risk. This was not a mere informal assessment of loyalty. It was a spotlight on every fragile bond in the villa. The fissures transformed into canyons for certain couples. For others, the challenge unexpectedly served as an opportunity to fortify their resolve. The unpredictability of Episode 20 is what renders it so captivating. A strategic game. Affection Island is not solely about romantic affection, it is also about survival. In this episode, it was impossible to disregard the strategic aspect of the game. Islanders who had previously avoided engaging in lengthy conversations abruptly discovered compelling reasons to engage in lengthy conversations. Others began to propose that specific couples were not compatible, which could potentially justify eliminations in the future. It is captivating to observe the manner in which Islanders will position themselves during periods of uncertainty. One individual in particular made a point of serving as a sympathetic friend and offering a shoulder to weep on for others. That was, in fact, a strategy. Make no mistake, The act of offering comfort to individuals reduces their likelihood of voting against you in the future. And episode 20 demonstrated that each action has multiple facets. In the interim, certain islanders expose themselves by overplaying their hands. There is an excessive amount of defensiveness, jealousy, and an attempt to manipulate the narrative. In a villa where the audience is privy to all, overplaying is frequently the precursor to disaster, the obstacle that incited controversy. The challenge arrived midway through the episode, and it did not disappoint. This was not a trivial relay race or pool game. It was a challenge that was intended to reveal the truth, incite drama, and compel islanders to address the flaws in their relationships. The couples were subjected to physical and emotional challenges, including inquiries and dares that probed the core of their relationships. In whom do you have confidence? Without your partner, whom would you kiss? Who is solely present to participate in the game? The questions that no one wants to be asked aloud, particularly in the presence of their companion. And of course, the outcomes were horrific. Some islanders were unable to resist the urge to steal glances or kisses that sent their companions into a tailspin. Other individuals responded by stating honestly, but it is possible for honesty to be more detrimental than lying. Several couples were left in tatters by the conclusion of the challenge, as the villa's reactions were a mixture of death stares and laughter, confessions and confrontations. The challenge's aftermath extended into the evening. Some islanders were unable to let go of the situation, and they drew their companions in for tense discussions about the statements that had been made. However, others maintained their stance, asserting that they had no reason to apologize. It was a chaotic sequence of defensiveness, accusations, and uneasy silences. However, the genuine gold was obtained from the islanders, who ultimately acknowledged their reservations. One individual acknowledged that they were not experiencing the energy they had been feigning. Another individual declared that they were beguiled by the revelation, despite the fact that their companion was present. The villa's power dynamics were fundamentally altered by these admissions, which were not mere glitches. This equilibrium, the brutal honesty of strategy and survival juxtaposed with the tender moments of genuine affection, is what renders the program so captivating. Everything was delivered in abundance in episode 20. Episode 19 was the explosion, while episode 20 was the aftermath. It left us with a single lingering question. Who will emerge from this villa as a cohesive unit, and who will be revealed as a mere participant in the game?